He is liberated, even against his wish, who gains the full consciousness of self, which dispels the illusion identifying self with the body, consciousness as strong and firm as that he had while under illusion. Upanishads Sahasri. Capable of distinguishing good from evil, ever in supreme peace, gained through spirituality, cured of its native restlessness, my mind stands, O sage, in perfect calm. Yoga Vasishtha. Half of ignorance is destroyed by free exchange of thought, half of the remainder is dispelled by application to philosophy, the rest fades away in the light of self-reflection. Yoga Vasishtha. Identification with ignorance, resulting in obscuration of the light of self, disappears with the rise of spirituality. Panchadasi. Part 14. Liberation. Bow to me, this self, void of consciousness and that which makes conscious, void of subject and object, of all names whatever, self-illuminated for once and forever. Hail to me, again to me, all rest and peace, the high mountain of supreme bliss, smiling under the sky cleared of all clouds of egoism, fresh after complete extinctions of the wild, devastating conflagration of desire. To the lamp of love, burning bright with its wick of spontaneous ideas without any material oil, to the light of inner consciousness, the self-sustained sustainer of the intellect and all that depends on it. Right, hearty welcome, right, joyous greeting. Yoga Vasishtha. Subject, object, instrument, time, space, categories, being, non-being, phenomena, all are forms of that which is the blessed self. Yoga Vasishtha. Lightness, health, peace, beauty, and grace, melodious voice, profuse fragrance, these signify the first fruits of yoga. The resplendent ball of gold, encrusted with dust, shines in native luster when carefully washed. The self, having regained itself, shines alone in the eternal bliss of supreme fulfillment. Savetas Vataropanishad. As the sword flashes out of its sheath before the eye in dream, transcending the scheme of all causation, so is the knower all self-effulgent, transcending the five sheaths and standing above all causations. Upanishads Ahasri. Thou mayest realize the distinction between this world and spirit, to be as like unto the distinction between void and ether. Yoga Vasishtha. Those are the enlightened great souls of this world who happen to be firmly fixed in eternal unborn calmness. The world cannot even dream of it. Gauda Patacharya. Sight of the Supreme breaks asunder the knot of egoism in the heart, dispels all doubts, extinguishes all karma. Upanishad. The blindest sensualist finds in his mother the irremovable bar to the excess of his indulgence. The man of the sharpest intellect is overcome by the ultimate resort of all thought and all bliss, the one. Vivekachudamani. Therefore, the knower of the one finishing all learning should wish to be strong in the self, finishing even this strength as well as that learning. He should try to become the silent one, finishing learning and strength and silence. He becomes the true Brahman, the real knower of Brahman. What indeed makes the Brahman? Whatever may make the Brahman, it cannot be other than the one thus described. All beside is vain, all worthless. Upanishad. Powder of the kataka wood, put into water, settles down the mud that makes it foul. So spirituality, constantly put in, drives down the ignorance which renders the soul all turbid, leaving it in the native purity of itself, Atma Bodha. Nothing moves him to love or hate, who finds all beings in himself and himself in all beings. What can delusion or sorrow mean then? When to the knower, realizing unity of all, every particle has become his self, Upanishad. Spiritual consciousness, having shown the absolute non-existence of the objective, the supreme peace of liberation is fully realized in the mind's being wiped clean of all and every object whatever. Panchadasi. Experience in the light of wisdom, dissolving every impression it may leave behind. This sleep in waking is the real nature of those who know liberation is only the highest development of this nature. Yogi Vasishtha said, Yajnavalkya, this is not the self, this is not the self. The incomprehensible is never comprehended. The indissoluble is never dissolved. The unconditioned is never conditioned. The unpained is never pained, never put out. O thou Janaka, hast realized entire fearlessness for Haranyak Upanishad. The bliss of Brahman, speech and mind, fall back, baffled and abashed. All fear vanishes in the knowing of that bliss. Upanishad. The silent one, the knower, ever resting in the self, may walk, stand, sit, lie down, or do anything at his sweet will. Viveka Chudamani. I do not see, for I have no eyes. Without ears, how can I hear? I cannot speak, for I have no speech. Without mind, how could I find the world of mind? Dasa Sahasri. There is none superior to me in self-knowledge, none inferior to me in ignorance. Who knows thus is the greatest knower of Brahman. Na ish karm yasati. Neither knowable nor unknowable, neither spoken nor unspoken, neither liked nor disliked, impossible of retaining in any mental presentation, may not possible to fix in contemplation even for a moment, all bliss through and through, beautiful in the deep sense of ecstatic self-realization. This, myself, wonderfully dissolves the world in the sudden flash of its abundant light. Svaraj Yasiddhi. Separate, unique, one, multifarious, noble, knower, motive, mover, these and other imaginings of the same kind. Where could they find room, other than in me, all one, Upa Dasahasri? Egoism, having disengaged itself from the body and having been dissolved in the light of the Supreme Self, the mind stands in a blissful state wherever it goes, whatever it directs itself to. Drs Yavivaka. The native form of the subject, highly transcendent, self-illumined for once and forever, unborn one, immutable, unconditioned, all-pervading, without a second. I am this, the ever-liberated word of glory. Upa Dasa Sahasri. He has had a dip in the holy waters of all sacred rivers. He has given the whole earth in pious gift. He has offered 1,000 sacrifices. He has satisfied all the gods in heaven. He has lifted his ancestors out of the circle of birth and death. He deserves worship of all the three worlds. The man whose mind has, even for a moment, tasted of peace in the absorbing idea Brahman. Some quote from somewhere, I guess they forgot. God's is probably the word for angel. Worship is probably the word for mention. Neither love nor hate, neither ambition nor illusion, neither pride nor the least tinge of jealousy, no good, spiritual or temporal, no desire, no liberation. I am none of these. I am all bliss, the bliss of all eternal consciousness. Holiness or unholiness, happiness or misery. Incantation or holy pilgrimage, scripture or sacrifice, none of these belong to me, not even the enjoyed, the enjoyer, or the sense of enjoyment. I am all bliss, the bliss of all eternal consciousness. Death I fear not, caste I respect not. Father, mother, nay, even birth I know not. Relatives, friends I recognize not. Teacher and pupil I know not. I own not. I am all bliss, the bliss of all eternal consciousness. Sa Ankaracharya. I am Brahman, not at all of the world, never apart from Brahman. I am not the body, nor have I any body whatever. I am the unconditioned eternal one. Ankaracharya. Who, being full of unity, sees not, as in sleep, the least trace of duality, though seeing it in entire wakefulness. Who, though acting, is, for the same reason, entirely at rest, he and no one else, is verily that true knower of self. Upanishads. Sahasri. He is all taste and refinement, yet all insipid. He is merciless, yes, yet fondness itself. He is cruel, yet all compassion. He is beyond desire, yet deep in the whirl of all desire. All care and anxiety without, like the rest of mankind, yet all quiet and calm within. He stands as if possessed, though ever unpossessed. Yoga Vasishtha. Wriggling all content in the nectar of bliss, fully satisfied in supreme fulfillment of every duty. Superb fulfillment of every duty. There remains nothing for the yogi to do. If anything remain, he must be just so many removes behind bliss. Jivan Mukti Viveka. The least of a thing is greatest if it comes without trouble to anyone, without seeking it of the wicked, and without the least pang at heart. Mahabharata. Highly allergic to this laundry detergent that's being used. The cycle of strife and struggle will place Brahman in the mouth of all. None, O Maitreya, will know it, if intent on the pleasures of sex and stomach. Jivan Mukti Viveka. I am Brahman. I am the Creator. Those who do not thus know me are lost to wisdom, as also to the purifying forms of eternal worship. They are on the highway to materialistic atheism. Upanishads. Sahasri. O Gargi, who performs the sacrifice, who undergoes the severest penitence, even for several thousands of years, all without knowledge of this immutable existence, meets only with that good which is sure to the end. Who passes away, dear Gargi, from this world, without knowledge of this immutable essence, goes away, alas, with the tight bond of narrowness about his heart. He alone who passes away in the knowledge of this immutable essence is the real Brahman. Upanishad. The heart of the wicked never melts into goodness, even though he should be deep immersed in the Vedanta. Jagannath. Jagannath. Always at their best, while talking of Brahman, but without the heart having at all become it, being all colored with love of the world. Those two are ignorant fools of the first degree, never free from the circle of death and birth. Aparok Shinabuti. Who does not know, knows. Who knows, does not know. It is known to those who do not know. It is not known to those who know. Upanishad. The ladle helps to prepare a variety of viands, but it never knows the taste of any one of them. He knows all the four Vedas and institutes of duty without end, but the poor thing knows not the essence of them all. Brahman. Uttaragita. Attachment to any one of the many fields which the mind visits for exercise is the surest sign of ignorance. Greenness is certainly impossible in the tree that conceals a consuming fire in its hollow. Naish Kram Yasiddhi. The swimmer, having safely carried many to the other side of the stream, is drawn into the whirlpool and is carried beyond all help. Those on the other side who feel grateful for his help pity him. Others pass on in indifference. The wise man caught into the whirlpool of words and technicalities has the pity of those who, having reached the other side of all words and all forms, feel yet grateful for his help. Atma Prana. That knower of self, who yet deals and give and get returns, hath not graduated himself for liberation. Upanishads Asahasri. The wise grieve not, having seen the unbodied self, pervading all mortal forms, ever great, all embracing. Kathapanishad. As is the being of things, the voidness of void, or the being with forms of forms, so is this universe, that whereof comes the whole universe at the end of sleep, and that wherein it dissolves itself at the moment of rest, is this Chidakasa, Yoga Vasishta. The area of this cosmos can hardly suffice for the enjoyment of the high-minded knower. The flutter of a tiny fish can produce but a scant ruffle on the surface of the deep. Bhartahari. Though taking part in all affairs of every kind, like all ordinary men, he soars constantly above all beings conscious or unconscious. Yoga Vasishta. If one knows his self as the self, what desire, what object should burn this body in the fever of care and anxiety? I'm sure that's burn his body. Upanishad. Think of it, speak of it, enlighten one another in it. This is full devotion to the idea of oneness. This, the wise call the study of Brahman, Panchadasi, the irrevocable love which the indiscriminate have in objects of sense. May that very love never fade from my heart, while it yet continues to be full of thy holy memory. Panchadasi. Great souls ever at rest in the self, all light and standing at the height of development, are always as firm within the Mount Meru, though appearing as fickle without as the tip of a feather. Yoga Vasishta. Neither joy nor sorrow, neither movable nor immovably fixed, neither being nor non-being, nay, not even the intermediate between these opposites, so is described the mind of the enlightened. Yoga Vasishtha. The army engaged in close battle, in a pitcher, fights, all unmoved, the wise, though deep in the intercourse with the world, stands equally even in all conditions. Yoga Vasishtha. The Vedas, the constant study of the scriptures, close application to the subtleties of philosophy. What do these avail? What indeed is the use of that whirl of ceremonial worship, which, at best, lodges the weary soul in some hovel of the village called heaven? Conscious harmony in the blissful condition of self, the great pralaya fire, destroying the net of misery born a bondage of this world. All saving this are but the toys of spiritual pedantry. Bharhari. The soul, imagining itself into the act, takes on the result of that act. Not imagining itself into the act, it is ever free of the result. Yoga Vasishtha. Where could that be invoked, which fills all space? Where is the seat of that which is the seat of all? Of the pure, what can be the wash, or the offering of honor? What the drink that purifies within? Sa Ankaracharya. I have no distraction, and therefore no attraction. Distraction or attraction are all incidents of the mind under the power of attraction. Upanishads Asahasri. The idea which consciousness at first imagines of itself as its own form, that it continues to be even to the present day, the same consciousness may, by yet another effort of greater strength, take the opposite form, and so on in proportion to the effort it should put forth. Yoga Vasishtha. Neither teacher nor book, neither pupil nor teaching, neither you nor I, neither this nor that, the light of self, intolerant of all doubt whatever. I am pure bliss, the one residuum of the many thus denied. Ankaracharya. The patient Brahman, having known it, should harmonize himself in the self. He should not be deluded away by words. It is mere waste of breath. Upanishad. The wise, having found the path of wisdom, indirect and direct, from the study of books, should then cast them away, even like straw after threshing the rice out of it. Panchadasi. This is the truth. I know no change, for there can be no cause to change. There being all oneness, out and out, no spiritual merit or demerit, no liberation or bondage, nor have I any caste or locality, for I have not the body of which these are accidents. Upanishads Asahasri. None of the philosophies do I profess. I'm that pure consciousness, the subject of distinct self-experience, all pure bliss, the one residuum of the many thus denied. Sankaracharya. In the duties of caste and neighborhood, some take delight in childlike innocence, some in stupid indifference, others find their meed, lover, reveler, ascetic. To no one grade of life the knower confines his choice. Swaraj Yasiddhi. A perfect fool in one place, all royal splendor in another, at times in fond delusion, at times entire peace and quiet, often in the slothful indifference of the boa, the subject of the highest encomiums in one place, in another all contempt, in a third entirely unnoticed. Thus goes about the wise knower, ever happy in the highest bliss. Viveka Chudamani. The ascetic, not straying away from the path of wisdom, should so conduct himself, that foolish men, feeling ill at ease, should not seek his company, Smrti. Well, there's a lot of Smrti and Shruti. The ignorant set up the panorama of objects. I wipe it out as often. I have faith in none. I am not afraid of the last penalty. I hate so-called virtue. Self-satisfaction is all I seek. The whole of my wonderful life spent in escaping the world none can understand. Swaraj Yasiddhi. Well, the terms of what the world has decided, right? What means self-realization? To me, all eternal realization from end to end, all duties have been done, all wishes have been fulfilled. This is the most sure conviction of my heart. Panchadasi. I neither do nor make do. I neither enjoy nor make enjoy. I neither see nor make see. I am the self-effulgent self, unlike every possible name or form. Viveka Chudamani. The knower and the ignorant are both equally subject, each to his own previous karma. The knower, all patience, knows no sorrow. The ignorant, ever unsteady, continues to grieve. Of two men passing on the road, both being equally fatigued, and the road before them being equal, he that knows treads on patiently to the end. The poor ignorant fool lingers behind, bemoaning his lot. Panchadasi. Bliss here attains to the extremes of intellect, the highest which transcends intellect, and the lowest which is far below intellect. The way between these extremes is the way of worry and evil. A very thin partition divides ecstasy from madness, for in the former, the mind having lost all faith is quite clear of every tinge of attachment. Yoga Vasishtha. In all acts, whatever, whether of commission or omission, there is nothing save absence of attachment to distinguish the fool from the man of wisdom. Yoga Vasishtha. I look with equal eye upon a poisonous snake or a garland of flowers, upon a strong enemy or a kind friend, upon a costly jewel or a lump of earth, a bit of flowers or a slab of stone, a group of beautiful women or a collection of useless straw. Thus do I spend all my days in some holy solitude, all intent on the blissful syllable. Bhartrhari. Neither action nor inaction are in me, ever one and without parts. How can he act who is all oneself, a compact mass, all full and all filling, like the ether? Viveka Chudamani. He is never over-enjoyed, though often coming to good things. He stands firm as Meru under the direst calamity. He walks the world like a god, finding self in the bliss of self in everything whatever. Sva-sanjasiddhi. There's the word God almost becomes meaningless, and well, in English, one sees how many ways it's been used in this book alone. A Chandala, a twice-born, a Udra, an ascetic, a man of intellect refined by application, the Lord of Yogis, thus described at the top of thoughtless prattle, by men conceiving each his own fancy, sages harmonized in the self, wend their way neither angry nor proud of the compliments thus bestowed. Bhartrhari. Bhartrhari? Okay. The knower catches, in the ecstasy of his heart, the full light of that Brahman, which is indescribable, all thought, all pure bliss, incomparable, transcending time, ever free, beyond desire, resembling limitless ether, having no parts, and emitting no idea beside itself. Veka Chudamani. Does it make any difference in this gem of heaven, the sun, if he is reflected in the waters of the Ganges or in the stream flowing through the scavenger's street? Does it make any difference in the ether enclosed in an earthenware or a jar of gold? In that, the inner being of all, the billowless ocean of native bliss and light, that means this great delusion, this nightmare of separateness, creating distinctions, the same self, shines plainly in all the three conditions of waking, dream, and sleep. It is, moreover, the inner witness of all, pervading even like a thread, all forms, whatever, from Brahma to the tiniest ant. He who has the firm conviction, I am this self, not the form it takes, let him be a Brahmin or a low caste. My mind points to him as the real master, Sa Ankaracharya. Has it set? Is it broken? Is it shattered to pieces? Is it dissolved? Is it pounded to dust? Is it swallowed up? Is it suddenly gone to decay? The mind being turned inward, I do not find even a trace of the universe in the free depths of myself, the indescribable ocean of the bliss of self-realization. Svarajyasiddhi. All latent desire having died out, he looks upon the world as all destroyed, as some unreal nightmare, as a castle in the air, or even as a painting which is nearly washed off under a heavy downpour of rain. Yoga Vasishtha.